Okay, how is everybody doing today? All right, Thursday, January 17th, 2019. This is Big Chonis. You guys are awesome for joining me today. Remember, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. These are all my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. I'm a cryptocurrency trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. I'm also a featured contributor to Bitcoin Live, and I love doing these YouTube broadcasts for all you guys. I'm also still doing my online personalized mentoring. It's a great way to enhance your trading skills. Please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter DM or email bigchonis@gmail.com. Quick shout out to my friends in the chat room today. Who do we got here? Hey Hans, hey Evan, hey Hogo, hello Ralph, Dominus, namaste, namaste. Jean Boss, hello Pat Can, hello Jeanette Crypto, hello Jay Constant, hello 1+1, hello Crypto Squash, hello Satoshi Queen. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Peter. Hello, JF Airplane. Hello, Max. What's going on, Max? Hello, F5I Homer 5. Hello, Dave Mills. Hello, Claiborne Taylor. Hello, Crypto Storm 48. Ah, Wales. Very nice. Hello, Ha Ruck. Hello, Jay Stroud, my brother. What's going on, my friend? Hello, Gornash1234. Hello, Rob. All right, let's get it going here. So listen, we've been watching our Bitcoin price action. I'm on the 1 hour chart here. Now, listen, who was longing into this? You know, who was longing into these pops hitting our resistance line here from our wick out here of 4113? Let's note that because right now this is our local top, 4115-ish area. Okay, then we fell off our ledge right here at 4027. And if we draw our diagonal to that, we basically have right where we are now hitting resistance in our current price action, an area right here where we kind of expected at least some initial resistance if we were kind of getting any movement here. Now, keep an eye on this pattern here, not this pattern specifically, but just what forms here. And we see this time and time again. We have a top, we have a break, and then our sideways price action, what does it do? It tries to basically get back and retest the diagonal resistance. So we see this consistently here as we're hitting this diagonal resistance on consecutive wicks here. Now, so this is the hourly, so I'm on a low time frame, so I'm only making low time frame decisions, and basically thoughts, on what we're seeing here. So we have these little wicks here. Volume is still, there's a little chop here, there's a little something here, but it's nothing of interest yet. Okay, and we're still putting in our resistance overall in our very tight trading range. Now, we've been in this freaking tight trading range a better part of the week here. And for now, just kind of get a sense here of our bottom resistances for now, from our lows here to our current highs here. Okay. I don't know, but we're going to keep a watch on this because what we have very cleanly now is we have a line of resistance, one touch. We have a second line of resistance with these wicks here. Okay, pretty clearly this area here, I mean, we're only talking about, with a, $15, $20 zone here. And then once again, we higher low here, but still we are right in this area here. Even if we go to the body of the wick there, I mean, we're just right there in this lower support for now, corresponding with our 3150 bottom here. So what does this mean? This means that we are still ranging and we are still tight in our equilibrium. And let's face it, this could potentially take us a couple more days here. Today is the 17th. We could go a couple more days before we break this. Now, I don't think it's going to take a couple more days. I actually don't think we're going to get this crazy tight. Normally, we don't get that crazy tight. Normally, something around the next couple candles or so is where we actually some sort of a move here. These wicks here have all been false plays. They've all been basically stop loss hunters. If you're in a long, or sorry, if you're in a short and you're trying to basically play a conservative stop loss, this wick probably took you out. If you were in a long and you put in a lower low here from this previous wick here, this one probably stopped you out. So this is just bought action. The reason for that is because we're having a very low um, organic price movements here. We're having low organic retail volume here, and so a lot of this price action is just computers and exchanges back and forth until they can get some FOMO kind of coming into the markets here. Remember, guys, super chat is all open. Tips are always greatly appreciated. If you guys have any alt requests, just that $ under the chat thing. So those are always much appreciated, and your continued support is always appreciated as well. So we're looking for volume, okay? We're looking for a defined break here. Now, what is a defined break, and what are these trend lines and resistance lines we're actually really focused on? So in this patch here, and listen, it's been called this. We talked about this last night on Vamp's show. Where's the thing I want? Probably, yeah. About this kind of diamond formation here that we are seeing on this bottom here. Let me get rid of my resistance line here and here. And we've been watching to see if the corresponding resistance lines continue to hold. Okay, now we, we because of these wicks here, okay, the shape is still there, but we kind of have to keep redrawing our extended boundaries here. This diamond is looking more of like a diamond on its side here, um, kind of like that ship from Star Trek. But we have this tightening equilibrium. I'm still not convinced this is some sort of a bottom diamond yet. It's a little funky, and normally we like to see this down and up happen a little quicker, much tighter price action here. So um, we'll keep an eye on that. But again, it all corresponds to what I've been saying about how we've been ranging for this tight action for the past week, and our equilibrium and our price action still hold. So the question is, what will change this? What will basically change that equilibrium hold here? So what do we have here? Well, we have a resistance currently very strong here at $3,700 since January 10th. So 7 days we've been able to have, or our price has not been able to get above 37.12. What's our lower price support here? Let's make you green because you are support, and you are at 34.81 here. So this tight range here, this, what are we, couple $100 here? $230, little under 7% range here of Bitcoin is where we've been caked for the past week here. So any move of significance has to be something that is outside of this initially, and that move in itself is going to create a lot of interesting let's call it market reaction, I believe, because two things are going to be starting to happen here. Let's say we are able to range above our 37.12 area, okay, and start to put in these higher lows, maybe trying to retackle 37.78 during this chop, and our apex here of our triangle when it broke out bullishly here, okay. So what happens if Bitcoin is able to get in this area? Are people going to start FOMOing in because they think we're about to go back to 4K? Or is that where the large amount of shorts are going to be starting to load up because it's just one more push higher to get those people to FOMO in just a little bit more to set those levels higher? My point in this is that's why I feel if we are going to get up here to 37.80 and stuff, we have to get up there with a little more volume conviction and a little more structure than just a wick or two. If we can get above here, the journey from 38 to 4K is pretty quick. You can see how this was a very open window up and open window down between 38 to about 4K, right under 4K there. So if the bulls show up, I expect that to be easily achieved. But it's all about this kind of 37 to 38 cluster. Achieving this here can definitely bring us to here, and that's a whole different story here. Now we start talking about our resistance neckline descending, that's held and held and held. And why is that important? Because we still are putting in lower highs, okay? This entire run, every time the market's feeling a little bullish here, okay, we still have to keep this in mind, that until this trend changes, okay, lower highs, okay, achieving these resistances now turn support and then breaking them bearishly, okay, that basically caused the fact that now all these areas here are going to be that much tougher to break through, Okay, then conviction to break through them would also be something of note, because if we are able to do that, and this market definitely have some more legs ahead of it. Now let's talk about the bearish scenario here. Now the bearish scenario here, again, 34, a little, let's call it a little under $3,500. That's been a strong hold. Okay, that's been very consistent, and that's what we want to see hold if we retest that again. But if we test it again, I don't know if it's going to hold a second time. Okay, we've had enough ranging in this pattern for the bulls to at least show up, because they feel that this area at 3,500 is actually that strong support. But if it falls through, then we have one last area that we have to keep an eye on, and that's right around this 3360 area here. And talked about this on Vamp's show last night, mostly about this cluster of price action here, support and resistances turn support. And it's really the last little bit of chop before we can actually get down to our double bottom retest here. And that's something that will be a whole interesting thing to see if we get down there again, how strong this support here actually is. But we're not there yet, and basically all we need to really focus on in this short-term time frame here is just this range here. Anything below 35 is notable, anything above 37 is notable. Let's look at our daily chart. Oops. Clean it up. There we go. Okay, so we'll keep the pattern, in your mind about what are we doing here. So for now, and let's keep our lines up here. Let me get rid of that guy. Let me get rid of that guy. Clean this up just a little bit here. So we're good with that. We're good with that. That's where we are there. Take that away. That away. And take that away. And take that away. Okay, so right now, there. Okay, so right now, since our low of 31.28 or so, and our high of 42.39. So we were looking at this cluster of price action here in the very tight range of the 1 hour chart perspective over the past week or so. Now we're zoomed out to a much higher, broader perspective on the daily chart here, but we're looking at the past couple months here, okay? Because it's important just to keep these things, in perspective here. We had a low, okay? We had a high. We had a lower low. We had a lower high. Okay, we had a lower low, sorry, higher low. We had a lower high, and then this is where, okay, we put in that lower low. There's my frown there. Okay, so this cluster negated the pattern here, okay, of lower lows, lower highs, and then we were starting to break through that. So this was the thing that we were watching to see if we can keep that equilibrium. But here's what's tricky. Yes, we broke it, but yes, our price action right now, okay, and for the past couple days has been holding right on it. So it's not just that the equilibrium overall is still intact. It's just that this key area, okay, because we broke it, but then we were able to slingshot above it the next day and now hold it for 1, 2, 3 consecutive days, corresponding to these wicks here at 35.81, again 35.81. So this is where this is how important this zone right here is, because it's going to set whichever way Bitcoin moves, it's really kind of set the trend for the next bigger momentum in Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is less of this ranging action and the more volatility moves that we kind of haven't seen for a while here. Okay, now we have to factor in the fact that even though we're putting in this lower low break, holding it right now, our volume is still weak. Just technically speaking, we have a low, we have a higher low. We're slowly still putting in a higher ranging candles, higher. Keep messing this up. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, in the past couple day cluster. But our candle bodies are getting very tight now. Okay. A lot of this here was still the volatility in the market from these big moves here, big candles, big wicks, big candles, big wicks. Here was our break, okay? And now we basically have these tighter patterns, tighter patterns, tighter patterns here, setting up for, lining up for that next big move. We see that in our volume profile as well as it continues to decline here. Okay, and that's basically saying that as we decline, we're getting to that point then where the bears are basically said, all right, I'm not moving. The bulls are saying, all right, I'm not moving. And then something pushes one side or other over that edge. Let's look at some other indicators here. Now, our RSI on our daily chart, something that we keep talking about. I like to be over 50. We're not over 50. All this artwork comes up here. But we talked about last time that this kind of broadening wedge of support here, and we've had to adjust it a couple times, for now is holding. Oops, what the heck just happened there? There we go. I don't know how the heck that happened. Okay, so for now we're expecting to find this support here, even though we broke our 50 line, holding 40, the higher low of 43, ranging around 45. Okay, so the RSI technically is still positioned to capitalize on holding this area here and try and shoot up for another retest of the mid 50s. Now the mid 50s continues. Going to steal you for a minute here. Continues to be major resistance here. We got wicked out here. We broaden that there. Okay. And all the cross here. One time we were able to break through it, and that was very quick there, and we got a very strong rejection here. So this continues to show a very lower RSI profile consistently as we continue to get longer into this bear market. One thing of interesting that we were liking to see until kind of right now is that our Stoke was actually looking pretty good. This is a forerunner. Sometimes we can see how it takes time for us to build before we get a nice move here. Okay, and always when we get to our topping area here, we do find that resistance. We weren't able to do a full reset, but we were able to at least get our leading indicator pancaked at the 0 line here. So we definitely were seeing we had some stability here. The question is, though, can we do the rollover? Now, I was looking for at least our trailing indicator to get into the purple, and we're there. Okay, so this is still bullish until proven otherwise with either this cross here, but still I like the fact that both are indicators after getting pretty low here, not as low as I wanted on my trailer, but still above here. Now that we're in our purple zone, the bulls have, kind of a momentum chance for continuation. One thing to keep an eye on, though, is how this area here acted as support last time, and now that we've broken it, it could be acting as resistance as well. And this is kind of a zone here, I'd call it, on our Stoke here. And we're kind of getting into that right there, okay? We're in it with our leader, we're in it with our trailer here. So this is an area here where our Stoke tells us we hit some resistance. Break through here, and we actually have some pretty clear air, until this next area here corresponding with right here. Okay, but for now, this area we've shown was support, now turn resistance, which means this could be near-term still resistance for the price action of Bitcoin. Looking here at our MACD now, we're looking here at a consistent histogram of bearishness, but we're slowly rising higher. So we didn't go as far here bearishly. We saw the momentum drying out for days, but we didn't go as far bearishly as was, I guess, a possibility. So this is still, even though we're still on our 0 line here, we're still in our bear cross sentiment here, hanging in there, mostly corresponding with our sideways ranging price action of Bitcoin. But because we're still hugging our 0 line, okay, like we did here, we hugged it for a while, rejected, hugged it for a while, rejected, and then there was our big fall there. Okay, so this is showing that even though we're in a bearish stance here on our MACD, which is a lagger, it will take some time to continue, Grenache, that we're at least positioned potentially to do another bull cross here because we're at this area here where we can at least hold the support for the time being. Interesting. So this is our daily OBV oscillator. And for the first time, we're actually poking our head above the top area here. And that's interesting because this is what needs to build if we want to do another cycle here. Now, our cycle of bullishness from a time perspective, we did this many shows prior, corresponding with the time it took in this area, in this area, in this area, all between 25 and 30 days. So now that we've had our reset, and it wasn't a very bad one here. That's another thing. Even though we had our bearish break, we lost what $500 from 4,000 to 3,500. Our oscillator didn't really shoot the bed here. It didn't really crap the bed down here like it did here and here. Obviously, this was a much different dump than what we had here. The fact that we were able to hold in this area without breaking through consistently and now poking our head up, if we can continue to keep this alive here, this is another example where the bulls might be able to reset and try and push a little bit higher. But because we're so close to our zero line, that could definitely flip very quickly. Our chalk and money flow. Now, it's funny. I was watching this yesterday and watching this kind of an inverse HNS with this here, our head, and this guy here. And as soon as the daily closed, it created this resistance here. So we get this neckline resistance here. But keep an eye on this higher low here. If we put in a higher low there, that could be something that could say, all right, maybe our CMF is still weak, but we're ranging to a higher low stance. We're still under a zero line, and we definitely see how much significance that line was when we were able to break through it and then fail to close above, and then that really nasty rejection there. Right there. So keep an eye on how tight this is here. This pullback, this candle, this happened right as the candle closed last night. So this pullback was basically, we're still in this for the day. But when we close out tonight's action here, it'd be interesting to see if we put in a lower low or actually able to hold a slight higher low in this interim candle period. And just quickly looking here. So we looked at our OBV oscillator. This is just our OBV line chart here. And, ideally you want this to correspond more or less pound for pound with the price action. It pretty much is. Here is our pump here. Here was our pullback that we had here. It's pretty much in line. Nice little bullish uptick here, though, on the last couple days here. So this shows there's actually been a little bit of accumulation in the past couple days of price action. Doesn't mean it's firm accumulation. Doesn't mean it can get stop lossed out or whatever very fast. But at least we're seeing the accumulation expanding with a higher low and a break of this near-term equilibrium here, at least on the daily OBV oscillator. So again, another slight bullish sign there on a higher time frame level still. But again, the volume is really what we're going to have to be watching for. All right, let's do a couple counts, see where we are in our TD cycle here. So on our daily, back to a green 1. Now, what would make this a red 3? 1, 2, 3, 4 would be a close below 35.14. Otherwise, we're going to do another price flip from a red count to a green count. Obviously, still early on. 12-hour. Same deal. We're in a red 1 here, still very early in any kind of account. Green 2 in the 6-hour, nothing there. Green 3 in the 4-hour. Now this is actually kind of interesting here. If we look at all this ranging here, other than this move here, this is our best looking 1, 2, 3 on our 4-hour candle here. We have a green 2 above a green 1. We have a green 3 above a green 2 with 44 minutes to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as this candle closes above 35.87, we will close this as a 3. And the 4 has to close above 35.88. So we have a little bit of a trend setting here. It's still early. I like the increased volume in this candle here. And again, the next 40 minutes are going to be very interesting because right now we're in an indecision doji candle here, slightly leaning bearish because the higher upper wick on higher volume. Okay, so in 40 minutes when this 4-hour candle closed, the shape of this candle will be interesting to see if we can get continuation of this move here. Again, looking at our near-term resistance levels, 3667 and 3710. And just real quick here on our 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart. We are on a green 5 there, a little clunky, but a green 5, so maybe a couple more hours, suggesting that we have a little bullish up momentum temporarily at least. Now, our 3-day higher time frames, 3-day, we're in a red 3, and we have running room for this red count here just because of how we closed bearishly here the past couple days. Our weekly is in a red 1, and we are on Thursday. So about Thursday, Friday, so about 4 more days left in this candle here. Again, probably going to put in a much lower volume profile than the previous week. Okay, the wick is circumstantial so far. It's like what, $80. So I mean, just very small wick here. The more important thing is to close with a green candle here. If we put in a red candle here, failing to put in, or basically putting in a lower low than the January 7th candle of, let's call it sub 3,500, then that would be very, very disheartening for the bulls. All right, hey, quick shout out to the chat room, 109, 125, something around that, of my closest friends. Who haven't I said hello to? Dominus A. Ramsey. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going, my old friend? What's up, Pat Can, SS Swartz 88, M. W. Wint 1982. Gino, what's up, my friend? Twizzle Pickle, what's up? Gornash, yes, slurp slurp. Having my drink here. What's up, Bud Thompson? Darius and Mr. P. Yeah, actually, Mr. P, that's a great thing there. What's up, B7 Oaks? Looks like Bacht is now on hold because of the shutdown. That's interesting because this government shutdown puts a lot of things on hold, and it'd be very interesting to see how this ripple effect goes through the markets. And yes, Bitcoin was waiting on these government approvals for, our ETFs and our BOC and all that stuff out. So yes, this government shutdown basically puts these things on hold and extends them out later on into this year, which could definitely be something to keep note of, because that's basically telling us that we may have a lot more time until these things can actually be the chance of being approved, and those kind of things in the market, helping our bullish market there basically take hold. What's up, Hasab Ali? What's up, who have Satoshi? You're very welcome. And what's up, Buck Balls? So my guys, super chat is activated. Tips are always much appreciated. I have a little fun thing here I want to try. You guys are the first ones to see this little fun thing. There's so many altcoins out there and so many charts we can look at. So, along with request, I think it'd be a kind of a cool thing to play around with this new feature. Call it the wheel of alts. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel here and we're going to see which alt we will look at. Mana. All right, let's take a look at Mana. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Okay, so let's take a look at Mana. Okay. Mana. Alts. Where are you? Mana. I know I have you here. Mana BTC. Let's do. I guess we can do Binance is fine. All right, let's hide the wheel for just a moment here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna look at Mana here. Hey, listen, I'm on the weekly chart. Let's take a look at it here, since we already got it open here. So we have, oh, interesting. So we really found support here, like right on the dime here when we closed out last week's very bearish candle here. Wicking out right at the top of where we basically found last week's support turn resistance here. This was, it was encouraging move. It had an early December there, and the fact that it really gave a lot of that back, and we're back to this right around the 1,000 Satoshi area here. Oh, look at that. These are old artworks here. This is from months ago. So yeah, this is a coin though that does tend to have these little rocket ship wicks every once in a while. And then there was another time where we all thought it was kind of happening in here, and it never really happened. So I don't like the fact that we're retesting this area again. It is holding as support like it has done many times. But one, two, we're kind of back here for a third time. I don't expect these things to kind of hold too well. So I'm not entirely sure that that's kind of see the consistency. We definitely have to hold here because if we break this 1,000 Satoshi area, we could definitely put in some lower lows. Let's look at our daily chart real fast here. And we'll check out another coin. Okay, so we definitely found some support here again on this major historic line. Volume slight increasing here, and currently a indecision candle here on our daily. Um, Volume slightly decreasing here. So this we might be able to hold this area here and try and retest our trend line. We actually did do a 9 with a full combo 13 here, and that's kind of right where we're hitting our resistance on our overall trend setup line. We can break through here, and then we can definitely start talking about other areas that we can tackle for key resistance. All right, let's do another spin o' the wheel. Spin wheel. And we're gonna do TRX. All right, let's do some Tron, right? I think I have that in my other one here, maybe, right? TRX. No, no, no. Okay, go back to alts. TRX, there we go. Okay, so let's keep the BTC in line here. Let's hide my wheel. Thank you. Thank you, Vanna. Okay, so listen, this thing has been just a rocket ship of of a pump. We had a gorgeous nine. This is a daily. We had a gorgeous perfected 9 here with a countdown combo and then continuation here. Topped off at an 8, and we're trying to keep it going here. Now, this is what we see a lot of times here. We see this second attempt to put in a higher high with a lower volume profile. Um, with a lower volume profile. Okay, so that is a little suspect here if we're going to be able to find that next move higher in this price zone. We're currently on a green 2 here. I haven't talked about the Bollingers again. And listen, this is a great reason why I love using my Bollingers. Okay, even in an uptrend, okay, on a daily chart, okay, it keeps some perspective to think about when this candle here was at 861 Satoshi, this high above our upper BB, okay, we see where our 9 here was right off upper BB. Okay, don't mess with the upper BB on a daily chart. Okay, if you get too extended, you're going to get your hand slapped. Now, it's encouraging that we were able to find support above our middle Bollinger here. Okay, that shows that continuation. Problem with that is now we'll be looking at our upper BB here as the stronger part of resistance right at around 758 here. OBV still looks strong, still correlating with our price action here. Lower low on our price action. Okay, RSI definitely took a bite off there. And there's another thing here. Yeah, getting a little tired there as well. And our MACD, where are we here? Right there. So keep an eye on a couple things here. So we can see here on our MACD examples of when our spacing is too extreme, okay? Spacing is too extreme. Keep an eye on not just the crosses, but the distance that these indicators are separated from each other on the bullish side and also on the bearish side. These basically tell us, whoa, a little too far apart, a little too far apart. And they can basically be sharp and reverse sell and buy signals. All right, let's take a look at one more spin of the wheel. Check in on the chat room, and then probably call it a show. Let's do one more spin here. Thank you guys. There we go. ETH. Okay. ETH, otherwise known as Ethereum. Good call. So, isn't today like fork day or something? I know it was supposed to be yesterday, and now it's today. But we'll see what's going on with that. All right, so let me get rid of my wheel here just a moment. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're watching for is the Bollinger's up here. Now, we never actually touched our lower BB, okay? We got close to it, but we never actually touched it here. Like we touched it here, where we broke out of it here, and like we touched it here, okay? So close enough isn't exactly the best thing I like to see there, which is telling me I'm actually expecting another touch of our lower Bollinger, you know? I really am. I really am. This fork thing and the postponement of it and some of the kind of indecision behind it, it's not left the best kind of sense about what's going on here. Our volume profile continues to diminish. And I mean, we can take a look of an overall pattern here, again, using just basic sense of our pullback here, of our retracement. You know, we still yet to even hit our 61 65 zone here, and that right now would definitely correspond right with our lower BB test here, for that last little area of support there. Because look at our candle right now. This is our daily. Okay, just right there at this cross hanging, man, kind of super tight. Okay, and our volume is just bupkis there. Okay, we're crossing bearishly almost in our stoke because we just lost that momentum, and our RSI is a dead stick here at 45. Yeah, CMF, you know, this continues to tell the story of just this is the money flow not coming back into ETH here. You know, if we were accumulating at this price level here, I don't think you would see this stance here so low. The money is not right now coming into ETH. Anything bullishly would hit the middle BB as strong resistance, 137. And I just can't see how we get back to that 160 area here. Now, let's face it, if Bitcoin can get above 4K again, for sure, ETH can definitely take advantage of that bullish move there. If this is a corrective pattern here, talking about like that ABC, you know, ABC, are we looking for our C wave still? We talked about that. With same thing with Bitcoin. Are we waiting for some sort of an A wave? This is our B wave, and then a C wave here. Another test of the 160s, a truncated C, you know, and this is all corresponding with one more bullish push in Bitcoin, and then having all those altcoins basically use it to kind of get their last pop higher there. I feel a lot of this momentum was just because of the oversold bounce that Bitcoin was able to capitalize on. Also were able to follow suit, and now where does this kind of leave us here? Let's take a look at our TD cycle on the Ethereum. Yeah, same thing. We're on a green one. I bet you a lot of these counts are pretty similar. There's our one. Yeah, you know, this was kind of disconcerting too. We had a very good 9 here on the 12 hour with a gorgeous combo 13 completion. And there was our nice one there. And then we just kind of, we couldn't follow through with that. This would be a great reversal here that really didn't have that follow through just yet, or if at all, there, because now these areas are consistently a resistance and wants to buy and hold ETH above 133. Quick drink here. Ooh, so let's see here. Robert asks what the bottom of ETH can be. Listen, ETH will get back sub 50 at some point. ETH will get back to sub $50 at some point. It's been to 80. And again, all this is corresponding with Bitcoin breaking 3K. Bitcoin breaks 3K, which I think it will. Then you kind of see that next line of depreciation of alts across the board. Not saying ETH can't go a little higher first, or at least keep ranging in this area here, but overall, I think 80 will be tested again and break, and then lower, lower, lower. And I think a lot of this bearish action is going to happen in 2019. Bitcoin's bottoming, candle wick, ranging, all that stuff. We have a full year of 2019 for all this to play out. I think there'll be moments where we'll have some bullish momentums for sure, mini alt seasons, if you will. But let's face it, we just had a little alt season. We had these tremendous moves in all these alts. Bitcoin went up what, 30%. We many alts do 70, 80, over 100%. ETH included, Litecoin included, Bitcoin Cash included. So we just had the alt season. So to see the continuation of that at this point, that next bullish push breakout, just for me, I can't see it happening. We were so viciously broken when Bitcoin broke 6K and everything else followed suit. These are now significant resistance areas that I can't see at least getting back up to before we test other lower areas, or at least confirm that our current lows are support that were once resistance. So all right, guys. How long have we been on for? About 40 minutes. Gonna call it a show here. Thank you for all of you guys that join me. 119 of you guys, much appreciated. No tips today, but maybe next show I'll get one from you guys. But again, I do this for free. I like doing this for free. I like talking to you guys. And sharing my thoughts and ideas on what I'm seeing in the price action of Bitcoin and what have you. Remember, you guys can reach out to me on Twitter and YouTube and about my online mentoring. If you have any interest in that, I got a couple spots left for next week before I go to Vegas, which I'll be in Vegas next week. With Vamp and at the Tone Vase convention. So very excited about that. Maybe I'll see some of you guys out there. And until next time, it's Big Chonis. You guys have been great. Give me some thumbs up. Really appreciate the thumbs up. If you enjoyed this here, over 100 you guys watched this here. Let's get 100 thumbs up. Much appreciated. Give me a follow as well. Hey, Speedo Smith, you're the man. All right. All right, you caught me, buddy. All right, we got our first tip of the day here. My brother. My brother. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'll do a quick BTC for you, Speedo Smith. Lower the volume here. All right, let's go back to our hourly chart here. There he is. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So looking here. Actually, let's get rid of my TD for a second. Let me pull up my BD for a moment here. All right, so hourly chart, we're just riding our upper Bollinger. We're pretty tight here in our BB, so these definitely have a little room for expansion. Volume is moderate. Again, we're corresponding with our other areas of resistance. Let's see what our hourly RSI is. Okay, so we're definitely putting in a higher low from our previous RSI resistance yesterday, so that's something. But look at our Stoke here, okay? Our hourly Stoke is getting a little toppy. We're already reached our 100 line here on our leader, and our trailer is not far behind. We can range here for sure, but our hourly is looking a little bit extended. We're starting to spread here in our MACD, but nothing crazy. And our CMF is good. I'd like to see one more pop up here, which seems to be very tough. Every time we get up here on our hourly, these are very short-lived pops here. Okay, so we're angling for maybe one more push here, one more push. But any more pushing is going to get continued resistance, even though we have a little bit more running room on the lower time frames. Let's look at our 4-hour here. Yeah, 4-hour BBs are also still pretty tight here. So again, look how strong the upper BB resistance was on these wicks here on the 4-hour. Okay, so don't expect this to be, again, if we get up to 3680 area, and this will get a little lower when we close this candle here in 24 minutes. Remember, I was talking when we started the show, we were talking about this 4-hour candle, this guy right here, and that was 20 minutes ago, and how important it was to keep that momentum going. We have a good volume profile here with rising volume prices here. And let's see our middle BB, okay? It's acting as resistance right now. Let's close above it. and we can definitely target at least interim another $50 on the upside of Bitcoin before it hits this area here. And with that, thank you, Speedo Smith. Everybody else who followed me and kept online, give me some thumbs up. Big Chonis, keep you guys posted on what's going on. Might come back this evening with another live update. Until then, talk to you soon. Peace out.